Hey everyone, today we're diving deep into something we all do probably without even thinking about it, clicking I accept. We're going to unpack what that little click really means and how it's kicking off a massive debate over the future of the entire internet.
I mean, it's such a simple question, right? But the answer is kind of wild. It connects that one tiny action to a huge, invisible industry that runs on your data, and now to a really controversial new idea that could change how we all use the web.
All right, so let's start with that pop-up we all know and, well, we all know it. Let's pull back the curtain on that cookie banner. What are we actually saying yes to? Turns out it's a whole lot more than just making the website run. Okay, first up is the big one, targeted advertising. When you agree to these cookies, you're basically giving companies the green light to build a file on you. What you like, what you look at, what you might buy. You know how you search for a pair of sneakers one time and then suddenly those same sneakers are stalking you across every website you visit? Yeah, that's this. Then you've got social media cookies. And this is where it gets really interesting. It's not just about what you do on their platforms. No. These cookies let them watch what you're doing everywhere else on the web. It helps them build an even richer profile of you, which they use to decide what to show you in your feed. So each one of these permissions, every single click, isn't an isolated thing. It's like a tiny breadcrumb. And when all those breadcrumbs from all over the internet are collected and put together, they create this incredibly detailed digital dossier about who you are. And the process itself, it starts out simple enough. You visit a site, a cookie gets stored, but step 3 is where the real magic, or maybe scary part happens. Your activity gets tracked and then mixed together with data about you from totally different places. All of this gets crunched into a profile that's used to serve you ads and content that are almost spookily personal. And the amount of data they're collecting is just staggering. It's not just the sites you visit. We're talking IP addresses, what kind of device you're using, your screen size, even your location. And get this, they can even figure out that your phone, your laptop, and your work computer all belong to you, linking them all together. So you might think you're just giving permission to that one website, but that single click on I accept, it can be like a flare, sending your data out to this huge network of other companies. How many? Well, on just one site, it could be up to 226 different partners. Think about that. Over 200 companies getting a slice of your digital life from one click. Okay, so you have this massive kind of Wild West data world happening in the background. And because of that, plus growing worries about protecting kids online, lawmakers are now jumping in with a pretty radical new idea, making you prove your age just to browse the web. And believe me, this isn't just some fringe concept. The US Congress alone looked at 19 different online safety bills recently. That's not just a trickle, that's a wave of political energy aimed at regulating the internet in a way we've just never seen before. And listen, this isn't just talk, it's not a what-if scenario. It's happening right now. These age verification laws are being passed and put into practice in about half the US states and in countries all over the world. And it's totally changing how we get to all sorts of content online. So this big push brings us to a major conflict, a real clash between two ideas that people care a lot about: the absolute need for online safety versus the fundamental right to our own privacy. All right, so let's break it down. On one side, you have people arguing that these laws are just essential. You know, they want to protect kids from seeing things they shouldn't, tackle the mental health issues tied to social media, and just create clearer online spaces. But on the other side, critics are sounding the alarm. They're worried about linking everything you do online to your government ID, making free speech riskier, and trusting all the sensitive info to companies that, let's be honest, don't have the best track record with data security. This quote really gets to the heart of that pro-protection argument. For a lot of people, it's a pretty simple calculation. The very real, tangible goal of keeping kids safe is just way more important than any abstract worries about data privacy. And then this quote just perfectly spells out the other side of the coin. For privacy advocates, the fear is that connecting our real names to everything we say online could have a serious chilling effect, making people afraid to speak freely or challenge ideas. And, you know, beyond the huge philosophical arguments, there are some really big practical problems here. This question nails one of them. For these laws to work for everybody, there has to be a simple way to verify your age.
But what about people with older computers or people who don't have a fancy smartphone? How do they even get into this new age-gated internet? So all of this, the cookies, the tracking, the new laws, it all builds to this one ultimate question that we are all facing together. Because this isn't just about tech, it's about what kind of internet we actually want to have. And really, this is the choice in front of us. For decades, the internet has been this pretty open, kind of anonymous frontier. Now we're moving, and moving fast, toward a version that's much more verified, more controlled, and, as its supporters would say, safer. Both paths have massive upsides and some really serious risks. The direction we choose is going to define the digital world for a long, long time. So, is it possible to get the best of both worlds? Can we figure out a way to protect people without giving up the privacy and the freedom that made the internet what it is? That's the billion-dollar question, and it's the challenge that we're all trying to figure out right now. Thanks for joining me.